Ready, man?
Party people in the place to be. It's about that time for us to.
Yeah.
What's up, chiropractors? This is Dr. Silveri, your guide up the mountain to $1 million practice. If you're looking for the roadmap to grow your practice fast, then keep on listening. This is the Path to $1 Million podcast, where I chat with today's most successful practicing chiropractors. And remember, if you want to get there faster, visit getmemorenewpatients.com to find out more about Leverage Media, the most comprehensive digital marketing agency for chiropractors on the planet. What's up, everybody? This is Dr. Silveri with Path to $1 Million podcast, and I am here with my guest today, one of the legends of chiropractic, probably coached more chiropractors than anybody in history.
I'm rounding third base.
There you go. Dr. Larry Markson, I appreciate you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. So for anybody that may have been living under a rock for the last 30 or 40 years, give them a synopsis of where you started, where you've gone, where you're at now.
So I started in chiropractic at age 7. I had bronchial asthma and eczema so bad I had to wear white gloves to go to school in Brooklyn, New York, so you know what happened to me. Right. So I grew up, after I went to chiropractic as a last resort. My hands are fine, my nails are manicured, I can breathe, I can run. I'm an old man now, but I'm still pretty strong. Yep. And so I grew up knowing I wanted to be a chiropractor. I went to Palmer College because my chiropractor was from Palmer College. B.J. Palmer was my teacher. That's how many years ago it was. And so I graduated valedictorian, not because I was smart, but the woman next to me had a great handwriting, right? And I came back to New York, where I lived then, anticipating I was going to get you as a patient, yep, and you were going to get well instantly, and you were going to refer the world, and pretty soon lifestyle of the rich and famous. Yep. That never happened. What happened is 7 years later, seeing between 30 and 70 people a week in my chiropractic office in the 60 and 70 was UPS man came in, check. My mother came in, check. Right. So I was actually failing in chiropractic instead of this dream that I had. Yep. Then one day, in March 9th, 1969, a friend of mine said, be my guest, come with me. We went to a Parker seminar in Fort Worth, Texas in those days, and there was only 132 people in the class. Yep. And I listened to Liz, little Texan say, you were born to be successful, healthy, and prosperous, right? And I didn't know that. I thought I was born to work hard and be a laborer and do what I wanted to do. I walked out of that seminar with a different concept as a human being. I was 29 years old and said, if I was born that way, why am I here now? What can I do about it? So lit a match that I started to believe and have confidence that I can be bigger than I am now. And I spent the next 10 years going in and out of chiropractic offices, learning what I could, going back to these seminars, developing and changing my thought patterns and my belief systems. Pretty soon, 100 people a day at the end of 1 year, 150 people a day, multiple offices, and so forth and so on. So I had that experience. Then I broke my elbow playing tennis. I was actually walking on a tennis court and tripped. Sure. It wasn't a diving backhand at Wimbledon. And people started to ask me what I was doing, so informally. So I told my colleagues and friends, this is what I'm doing. Their practices started to grow, so I started something called Markson Management, which over the years from 1980 to 1997 led the field. We had 1,000 clients, and we had coaches in the system. We were doing seminars all over the place. Yeah. And then I transformed it, because if there were 10 doctors in Markson Management and they read the book, the textbook that I wrote, what to do, what to say, what to wear, what hours to practice, what to pay, you see everything, 350 pages, and I had 10 doctors sitting in the front row of the seminars, they would do this after a while. 2 would succeed and knock it out of the park. 2, no matter what I do, would fail, and the rest would fight. 6 for different levels of mediocrity. Right. So I said, there's something wrong. I'm missing something. That was the emotional way, feelings that you need to have to succeed, how the brain works, how you can communicate with people, your belief systems. Yep. And as I added that, the Master's Circle was born. The Master's meaning from golf, the best of the best. Circle, what goes around comes around. Yep. So that I was responsible for who I was, and the actions and thoughts and feelings I had would come back to me in like term. And so then it grew again. We started all over and built another 1,000 clients now, but they were different level practitioners. They were service oriented, They understood chiropractic, they could communicate, they did a great consultation, a superior reported findings, but they believed in service to humanity, whatever school they came from, whatever technique they used, that was none of my business, as long as they did it ethically.
Right.
You know, I didn't care. And as we started to watch, it started to grow, and we didn't have to advertise it. There was no advertising then, except yellow pages, you know. And these people started to come, and their practices started to move. In later years, that went on for years and years and years. And then I ended up with some cancer, so I retired for a while to see what would happen. And I'm not dead like they told me I was going to be. So we started the Markson connection, which was Dr. 𝐲𝐫𝐚𝐜𝐿 and myself and my son and Dr. Brett Axelrod for a higher achieving type of chiropractor, because whatever you told them to do or be, who to be, they were that. And so we did that, and that morphed into the cabin experience, which was a self-help development thing. Stick you away in a mountain somewhere for 3 days, no telephone, no communicate, and change who you are. And now my last bit is the Chiro-Cabin, where I go to offices and their staffs, or groups of offices, up to 30 people, so I can know the individual, and change how they think, change their belief system, get rid of the stinking thinking past that they were programmed by their mothers, fathers, teachers, and preachers. And I don't make them successful, they do. And how do they do that? They start to eliminate anger and fears and making bad decisions and sloppiness into timeliness. And as they change, their practices follow. So what we found out is these ultra successful human beings didn't always start that way. They changed, they developed, they failed, they succeeded, but they were growing all the time.
That's great.
And so that's the history, and now I'm rounding third base.
That's right. And I would imagine, so I would guess that you aren't teaching them in these new things. You're not teaching them about how to use Facebook ads. You're not teaching them the new technique, the new trick. It's the same things that we've been talking about for decades.
Yes.
And it's that.
But I am teaching you that they need to modify. There is no more yellow pages.
I agree.
And social media and the things that you do so well, I'm encouraging that.
But without the things that we're talking about here, that's what's in between the ears. Without that, no tactic or trick is going to fix that. Like, you didn't learn a new tactic or trick at Parker. You changed the way. You changed it. We're talking here today about mindset.
I worked at, so the 4 things that I had to become expert at, and I now am after so many years, I started to do an affirmation every single day in my life, from something as simple as waking up, opening my eyes, and feeling the feeling of something great is going to happen to me today. Then I did a formal affirmation, was in the shower, I am here now. You know, I'm abundant and satisfying, and I can have wonderful relationships and a fantastic practice and prosperity and positive thinking all the time. I'm doing a daily affirmation out loud. Then written goals, not just thoughts or hopes or wishes or pussy willows or 4-leaf clovers, but written goals of what I want, when do I want it by, what action steps I'm going to get to accomplish it. Then meditations, which I thought it was Guru Maharishi. I didn't even understand it, but I knew I'm left brain, so my brain was always chattering. You know, what to do, tell me what to do. And today, 60 years later, people, number one question I still get is, Larry, how do I get more new patients? Number one question. Not who do I have to be to attract these people so they can come, stay, pay, and refer and be under lifetime chiropractic care and will me their children and their grandchildren, which is what happens after a while. So it was affirmation, goal setting, meditation, and I'm not talking about a formal meditation, but some way to find music or Patrick Porter's brain tap, something like that I use, which lowers the frequency instead of vibrating at 14 to 21 cycles a second like we are now, to go into a state that is 7 to 14 cycles per second, where your left brain closes down and your right brain, the brain of creation, where you create your greatness, right, attached to the universe. The right brain creates it, puts out the wave, puts out the energy, and it comes to you. So the meditations to stop the fear and the past and the hurts and the pain and give you the ability to move forward. And then the most important of all, the ability to visualize. The human brain sees pictures, not words. If I say the word strike to you, what do you think of?
Baseball.
baseball. What about a labor negotiation, which I would think of because my father was a union electrician. Right. Oops, he's going to be home again. Yeah. Or bowling, or strike a match, or a lightning strike. So different people interpret things differently. Yeah. We had to find a way that you can interpret it the same way, that I'm worthy of success. Success is possible to me. I've got to get out of my own way. How do I do that? So the visualization is we teach techniques of how to see and picture and play a movie like you make movies. Play a movie in your mind, play the acting part. Larry, you're the actor, here's the role. A life in the day of a successful chiropractor. How are you going to dress? What are you going to say to the patient? How do you present? What's your belief system? Are you articulate? What does your staff look like? Yeah. What does your office smell like? Is it still 1989 gold and brown? Or is it a more open model today with different colors and different tunes? How do you train your staff? Is it a team? Or what kind of fees do you charge? Are you cash oriented or insurance dependent? Everyone is different. Yeah. All kinds of different chiropractors. You know, they must do those 4 things. Yeah. So you were asking me before. We said, what do you do 0 to 250?
Well, let's get into that here in a second, because I want to frame it the right way so that you can give a lot of your genius. What I did, one of the things I picked up on, this whole time I've been thinking that more pussy willows equaled more success, and now I realize it's not right.
Cause and effect. Right. Cause and effect. Love, cause and effect. This is not Larry's law or your law. It says for every action is an equal and opposite reaction. It's a law of physics. It's not a belief system, it's physics. Gravity, what goes up must come down. It's a law, no matter what you do. So the law here is what you're putting out is you get back. So if your practice is not growing, no matter what you're doing, you're putting out the wrong causes for the wrong reasons and taking the wrong action steps. How do we define that? How do we qualify it? How do we see it left brain and then transfer that thinking to the right brain like an artist? All music is written in the right brain. All artists go up to that, take that palette and go up to the canvas, and they don't even know what they're going to do, but it's created. All architects, they build me a building. All the buildings look different because the architect has different pictures of it. So I learned to picture my success. So I take my problem in my mind, the left brain, right? That's my fears, that's my mother and father and teachers and preachers, pre-programming of negativity. Meet with love, don't bite off more than you can chew, save for a rainy day, a woman's place is in the home. You can't say that today or you'll die, but I was taught things like that when I was a kid. So those are outdated belief systems. So I've one by one replaced them with belief systems that 1, I can do this, 2, I can help more people, 3, as a result of the service, I can earn compensation equivalent to the service I'm giving or even greater than that. Not I'm working for $10 or $35 or $100. You don't work for money. Money comes in the end result of the service rendered. So those are 4 big things. Then we teach people, it's about self-image. Now, since we all have different personalities, right? Some are leadership personalities, some are middle road, and some are very calm personalities. Any personality can be healthy in their personality and succeed. But you cannot be unhealthy in your personality, meaning not being the best you know how to be. So what's the trick? What's the trick? How do you take someone, it starts with a decision. Number 1 ingredient of success is decisiveness, to make a decision. I am going to change my life. How many times have you and I said, or other people, we're going to go on a diet today? Well, today's Saturday. No one ever started a diet in their life on Saturday. We have 2 days to bulk up. So we can. So when you I
had my second dessert today.
Right.
Just
Me too. So if you say that, you're training your brain to fail. You say, I'm going to do something, but you don't do it. Versus saying, I'm going to do this in my office, and then you do it. And everything you say you actually do or attempt to do it until you get better at it, but you don't deny it. So you're either teaching your brain to fail or teaching your brain to succeed, and you're creating your own ups and downs in life. Well, some are lessons. So the object here is when we take people in the cabin experience, we spend the first day flushing out some of the stinking thinking, the old, outdated, out of mode, out of current thinking, right? Flush it out, wash it down. And now it leaves a vacuum, and nature abhors vacuum, so we can fill it in with new and better stuff, like yours. You didn't exist 20 years ago. There was no social media, there was no... Even when I started it, there really wasn't much out there, and it was a lot of like
boots on the ground and Yellow Pages stuff.
So you were a practitioner, and then you saw a need,
Right.
and you had the guts and audacity and determination to leave something, take an opportunity that came to you, and use your talent, your right brain, your creativity to create something that didn't exist, and you built a successful business.
Yeah.
You're following the rules, but you didn't know you were.
Right.
See, you didn't know those are the rules.
Yeah.
There is a pathway from mediocrity to success, from unhappiness to happiness, from poverty to prosperity. There are pathways, and all you have to do, if you ask me what I did, I mimicked, copied, plagiarized, and stole the attitudes, actions, and procedures of anyone more successful than I was. So I was a busy man, right? And as I copied it, success came to me. As I grew into it, it became authentic to me. Then the explosions came. It just came quicker.
Larry, you're doing a great job in this interview.
Well, thank you.
You did. All right, so let's get to the meat and potatoes. I like giving tactical advice for people at different stages on their path to $1 million or beyond. All right. So we talked a little bit 0 to 250, 250 to 500, 500 to $1 million. So let me frame this 0 to 250. So somebody's starting from scratch, either associate or they're coming straight out of school. What's the biggest challenge that you think that they are going to face that they don't even know they're going to face? And what are the 2 or 3 things that you are for sure that if they do these things, they're going to get there fast to that 250 mark?
That question could take 3 hours to
Well,
answer.
I know.
It's a difficult question because sadly, our colleges today, they're not meant to prepare people for practice. They're there to give you a technology and a learning that allows you to pass a state examination to get a license to practice. So even though you might be taught to adjust, 5 years later you adjust better, you read x-rays better, you communicate better, you need experience. So it's the belief system they come with is the problem. They get out thinking like I did, I was going to adjust you 3 times and your blindness would go away. You know, miracles are going to happen. So I would learn the basics. The basics are to have a neat, clean office, to always be on time and never be late, to always be up when you step into that battlefield of work, always have a good attitude, always anticipation, a patient's going to come, treating people correctly, I mean emotionally correctly, not treatments or adjustments. Hire staff that loves to work there. Train them as for the basics, what hours you have, what to wear, how do you answer the telephone. First impressions, while not always accurate, tend to last. So the first impression is important. How to do a consultation, get good at it. The objective today is to find out whether or not you're a chiropractic case, and if you are, after I do your examination next year, I'm going to tell you. And if you need another practitioner from another healing art, I'm going to tell you that too. So that's a memorized line, but it tells the patient, I'm going to tell you the truth as you should. Right? And so you do a good consultation in 5 to 7 minutes. Then you do your technical examination that you taught in school, an orthopedic test and chiropractic test and neurological test, whatever you do, and that should be about 10 to 12 minutes. And then I agree with taking x-rays, right? And today the digital x-rays, so they're very good visually also, and there's not this standing by the view box for 20 minutes showing people something they can't understand. So you take x-rays, and then I would like, and I think I told you just now you should do this, have every chiropractor email the patient something they make after the first day that says, Mrs. Jones, thank you for coming to our chiropractic office today, Markson Chiropractic. Today we did a consultation and examination, took some x-rays, the object of which is to determine if you're in the proper place, if chiropractic can be of service to you. Tomorrow when you come in, we're going to give you a report of findings to tell you in English, in words you can understand, not doctor lingo, are you in the right place? Yes, I can help you. What is wrong with you? How many times you have to come? How long you have to come? And how much it's going to cost? We'll answer every question. So in the interim, I want to spend 5 minutes right now. You should listen to the video and email it between first and second visit. I'm going to tell you right now the difference between chiropractic and medicine. You're used to medicine, right? Unless you were a chiropractic case before. But even then, you were used to coming in. When the pain goes away, you go away. When you're tired of paying money and you're feeling better, you will go away. That's not chiropractic. It's a separate and distinct healing art, and its understanding is different. It's a natural, holistic healing art. There are times for medicine. There are times for surgery. We feel chiropractic first, Medication second, surgery last. Chiropractic is a natural healing art. So we're going to explain why you have to come in 3 phases of care. Acute intensive care to get you out of pain as soon as possible. After that goes away, the pain goes away, then corrective care, which is where chiropractors set about the business of aligning spine and removing your subluxation's bones out of place that touch the nerves that's causing your pain. Where the nerve goes is not functioning. Take a dimmer and a lull, push the dimmer down, the lights won't go out, that's overhead, but they'll dim down. Same thing with your nervous to any tissue, nervous system, to any tissue or organ in the body. That will take a time. And then the third phase of care is wellness, to keep you around our office long enough so to make you strong enough so the chances of the original condition becoming returning becomes more remote. 3 phases of care. And I don't know how many visits you need because I don't have a crystal ball and I'm not Clark Kent and Superman, but I do know that you'd like a goal and a guide, so I don't have to tell you have to come back. Somewhere, I'm going to start you off, and I don't know, and we're going to re-examine every 12 visits to see how you're doing, not how you feel. Yeah. Because if you feel better tomorrow, you're not better. The spine didn't change. Yeah. Until the spine gets there, so that's a wellness program. So we're going to 2 to 4 dozen visits over the next 6 to 8 months, and before you pass out, let me tell you, you're going to start 3 times a week because it's essential. Maybe 4, maybe 2. I'll keep adjusting your visitation based upon your body. At the end of a certain time, you go to twice a week, and then once a week, and then once every other week, until you get to the point where you're on a wellness program. Yeah. Some people are faster than I'm telling you. Some people respond. But I'm here every time with you, so we're going to make those adjustments. So you don't have to worry. Is this medicine? If you want to be out of pain, that's all you're interested in, go get a shot of morphine right here in your brain. You will be out of pain, but you won't be well. Yeah. So that's the issue.
It's like you've done
that's
that
0
one.
to 250.
It's like you've done that one before. So
that's 0 to 250.
I remember when I went to my first Parker seminar in Vegas. I hadn't done any coaching yet, and I bought. I can't remember what they were called. It was like the Parker. Basically the Parker Protocols, maybe. It was a book that had
Parker Principles.
It was like everything you need to do for your office is in here.
Right.
And I bought that in 2007, and he probably wrote that in 1982 or something. Right. And it was relevant then, and it'd be relevant now.
Correct.
And the things that you're talking about are just the basic blocking and tackling.
With newer technology. Digital x-rays, tables of stadium, put you down,
but it's still
flip you over.
It's still the same thing.
Right.
It's still, emailing that video out is great, but lots of people did a phone call after day 1 for a long time. And that phone call after day 1, after their first adjustment, or whenever the first adjustment happened, to make sure you're checking in, make sure you're letting them know what the process is.
Absolutely.
It's the same idea. So 0 to 250 is a lot of the basics. Right?
If you don't have a good foundation, how can you build a tower?
I agree. And I would imagine that you agree with me on this, that the sooner you can get into a program that you resonate with, a coaching program that you resonate, so you don't make the same mistakes that have been made by every chiropractor since the dawn of time. We all do the same things, right? And we all make the same mistakes. I'm sure that in those thousands of people that you've coached, you didn't see a lot of new problems.
Correct.
Right.
Let's say that.
Yeah, all right. So
So
here's what I find. I do a lot of strategy sessions with chiropractors that's like the first step of working together. And what I find is some people are just unqualified for my service in terms they're just not collecting enough. And there are people that have been stuck at that like $8,000, $10,000, $15,000 level, and they might be stuck there for 5 or 10 years. So those people obviously need to do what we just talked about. But the ones that make it to the 20,000, they figured something out. They've got some systems.
The people that need it the most can afford it the least.
People
that need the help the most can afford it the least. That's the problem.
I agree. Yeah, that's it right there. So the ones that have made it to, let's say, 20,000 a month, they've got maybe a staff member. What is it that they need to do? What's the one thing that they really need to do? They figured out the basics. What do they need to do to go from 250 to 500 a year?
Change their belief system about chiropractic.
Okay.
You cannot sell what you do not own.
Okay.
So if you believe you could take a patient like some schools, unnamed, that you take a patient when the pain goes away, or the insurance company only pay 12 visits. So I'm 79 years of age. I've got cervical arthritis. I've shrunk an inch and a half, you know, and I've been under chiropractic for 70 years, and I still got sick. So I would wonder what happened if I didn't. But I'm still mobile. I still play golf. I'm still pretty strong for a person of my age.
And you look
so
great.
I go once a week for a chiropractic adjustment. Now, I'm not. What would happen if I didn't? I don't want to find out.
Right.
So I come the chiropractors that think I'm going to get you out of pain, I'm going to use a lot of modalities, up to them, I'm not knocking modalities, or decompression, or stems, whatever today is out there. I'm not questioning it if it's done ethically and honestly and with authenticity if the patient needs it, and that's the doctor. Has nothing to do with that. What I'm saying is, how long do you stay in this holistic? What's your belief system? Can your patient go to their spouse or their uncle, and when they say, well, what did the chiropractor do? Tell them, not he cracked my neck, but tell them what he did and why he or she, a chiropractic spinal adjustment, which is a skill to move a bone off a nerve, to free the nerve so the body can express its own health potential. That simple, and again and again and again. So my belief system, the chiropractors that have come into our program, why did they go from 125 visits to 200 or 600, or my son now who sees 200 people a day with associate doctors? Right? How does that happen? Right? Without advertising, because it sets a reputation out. People are educated, so they go out and they refer other people. His practice is 90-something% referral. Wow. Isn't that amazing?
That is.
So, but if you come in and you see the office, every team member knows what to do. They're expert. They love being there. They love helping people. It fits the mold of this special office. So there's a special athletes that are born with this incredible talent, with special people that open their mouth and notes come out. Well, the special chiropractor has a resonance and a pathway and a hook to the universe that says, I can help you. You're in the right place. Follow my instructions, and I'll be the best doctor I know how to be. And if you be the best patient you know how to be, show up time, pay whatever you have to pay, refer other people, get educated as to chiropractic, put your kids on the chiropractic care so your health and your family goes on and on. If you have the audacity and guts to say that and teach that, you don't have to worry about your practice. It'll come to you. You're creating it, but it'll come to you versus advertising, which doesn't work anyhow. I think, unless it's through AT&T and they, you know, billions of dollars, you know what the logo is. You know, that type of thing. But that doesn't necessarily work because it's competitive. What makes you grow? Why are there chiropractors in the audience that we're sitting in today that are seeing 1,000 people in a week, and other people say, well, I don't want to do that. I want to see 150 people a week, right, at a certain amount of money, where they grow up not feeling good about themselves as they get older, not having a financial remuneration enough to retire with grace and dignity when they get older. So it's not that you're working for money. Money comes as an end result. So as your volume goes, the staff gets paid better, which they should, you know, up to the call, and the money just comes. It doesn't matter if it's cash or insurance. It will come if you are the doctor. So when people come to me, I would say to you too, you know, what makes one difference? The way they think, the passion in their heart, their own belief and love for chiropractic, and their ability to serve people without wanting remuneration less than their ability to serve. I didn't say that very well, meaning it doesn't matter. I saw doctors today, they're $65 a visit in cash, seeing 1,000 people a month. In cash. Others feel, I can't do that, my people will go away. So it's the doctor's own poverty concept that keeps the fees low, or I'll give you a free adjustment. Remember those days? Free adjustment, free x-rays. Nothing has to be free, and no one's asking it to be free. No one goes to a doctor expecting it to be free. They want you to be the man. Just like, are you going to let anybody cut on you? God forbid, if you need surgery, you want the best. Who's the best? Best attitude, the best concept, the best vision, the technique and skill. Put them together, and you've got the outstanding chiropractor.
There you go. All right. So 500. They've gotten to 500,000 in a year, and they're trying to go to 1 million. This is where
I don't know that it should be a monetary thing.
Well, that's the structure of the podcast. So we can do it however you want to.
Okay. So let's say what's 500 and up?
500 to 1 million. I feel like a lot of chiropractors get stuck at this level.
Because in today's day, they don't want to practice on Saturday because the kids have football games, baseball, and they want their life. So if they don't practice on Saturday, I've written thousands of people through our computers, they give up 11% of their net income. So, well, I'm not going to practice on Saturday, I'll do Thursday afternoon. It's not the same. And I didn't say the doctor has to be there, but an associate doctor can be there.
Great.
Or a different staff. The office should be open with the proper hours, not the hours. Your life is not around your hours. Right. Your hours are made for patients to come. Then the 500 does, they do affirmations, they have a plan, they have a goal, they have staff meetings every single week. The staff comes in, they do an affirmation, they go to their own stations. It's like they're being filmed. Like, so if I was on Dateline NBC or 2020 and you were the chiropractor and I came in, what would you wear? What would you say? I bet you every CA would go to the beauty parlor and wear something better today, and you would act the part with a smile on your face and loving kindness. You act, well, here's the good news. We're not going to film you. We're not coming to your office. But why should you downgrade because we're not? Why don't you stay in that role? So to become you act as if. So I'm always attempting to act as if I'm truly successful. What does it feel like? What does it feel like? So for people that are struggling, one of the other hints that I've given, go to a chiropractor that's really successful and ask them, I'm struggling a little bit, I'm stuck. Can I piggyback around with you for a day? Invest a day, see what they say, see what they wear, see how they interact with people, mimic, copy, plagiarize, take whatever you can. And by the way, successful people will generously give you the information. They won't turn you away. So that's what I did. I went to all these offices, and if your appointment schedule is better than mine, that's what I did. Got it. The essential thing, though, is continuing education. So I take 30 to 50, 60 seconds, a minute, every time on every patient on the table to be educating them about something chiropractic. And I never ask the question, how do you feel? Because they're going to tell me. That's bringing them back to my pain. I want to bring them back to the anticipation of health.
Got it. I would imagine that a lot of the people that came into the Master Circle were probably in that range.
Yes.
That were they had the money to be able to pay for the coaching, and they'd been kind of in that same $500, $600, $7,000 a year, and maybe they were trying to do it on their own. Maybe they didn't have associates. Maybe their associates weren't being productive. And what would you say was probably the biggest breakthrough of the people if you can just remember one person that was really stuck, let's say $750 a year.
I got it.
And then they just took off like a rocket. What was that person
to
doing?
the degree that they lose their past references, they lose fear and doubt and worry and blame and anger, conscious survival values to life, and they move from their left brain to their right brain. The right brain is a creative brain. So, and they lose procrastination. Procrastination is the killer of dreams. If you're a procrastinator and you have to weigh the balances, think about it, ask people, pray to God, make a list, pro and con. If you're that kind of person, they never get to that level. Ever, because the doubt, the forces of nature in the negative are stronger than positive. One lightning bolt could take down a redwood tree that grew for 200 years. So fear or doubt stops practices. If you're stopped, you got up to your level of confidence and belief. You have to find someone who has a belief bigger than yours and open your mind to hear it and see if he can do it or she can do it, then I can do it.
Got it. And that's probably the benefit of being in a group. Because you see what the top 10% are doing.
And because for me, not everybody wants it.
I know, but if I can see that it's possible, when I was in practice, I just started a practice. I bought my first one and then I started one from scratch. I didn't know what I was doing. I'd never been to a chiropractor before chiropractic school. I had never really been in many offices. I didn't really know what was possible until I got into a group of successful chiropractors.
They think differently.
They do, but as soon as you see that it's possible, now it's possible. I mean, at least the way that I think is that if someone has done it at some point, that means I can do it. I just might not be the person that they are right now, but I could become.
When I was seeing 100 people a day, when my son graduated and got into practice, he said, "Dad, I'm going to hurt you. I don't mean this personally. I don't want to see 100 people a day." But the clinic sees 200 people a day. He just sees 75. That's where he wants to be. He likes to communicate with people and take a little extra time. So I'm saying do it in your own style, but know that it can be done. So this is what stops him. Alibis, excuses, defense mechanisms, rationalizations, BS. I got to take care of the kids. You don't understand. It's my neighborhood. It's my religion. It's where I live. It's the economy. It's the president.
Yep.
It's the weather. They always have a reason why they can't do it. That's their justification.
Sure.
None of that is true.
Got it.
None of it. The winner says, yeah, that used to be me, and I was misled, and I learned to believe something that's not true. So how do I change that? So we said affirmations and goal setting and copying people like you.
Got it.
You look the part, you sound the part, you love your business, and you translated it to me a little while ago. And I said, boy, if I was still in practice, I might avail myself of your services, and I don't even know you. Right. But you convinced me that you know. Now, do I align with that? And my answer would have been yes.
Yeah. It's the double-breasted suit.
That's,
or the double-breasted vest.
Yes. Very, very fashionable.
I appreciate it. So you're now at anybody from Brooklyn's going to appreciate it. Now you're at $1 million. You've become successful. You're starting to create the life that you want outside of your practice. What are the things that allow those people to really scale? Like, what's the biggest practice that you can remember in your coaching days?
You mean by dollars or volume?
Volume and dollars, let's say.
Volume is 1,200 people, 2,000. I know one person, 2,000 people
2,000 a week. Wow.
A week,
Yep.
you know. But I know people right now that I met today doing $2-3 million a year, honestly, ethically.
Yep.
Right, with associate doctors, traveling where they want, going where they want, saving for the future. Their kids do affirmations. They're in the game. But it takes a person that doesn't have fear. I was raised in an environment, a down environment. Mm-hmm. You know, don't bite off more than you can chew. You know, rich people are thieves. That's not true. I'm rich and I don't believe I'm a thief.
Right.
In fact, I know I'm not a thief.
Right.
You know, but not rich people. People, when they get the feeling that whatever universe, whatever religion, or if you have one or not, that you can translate it that money is valuable, because if you make money serving, one, it helps you, but two, now you're able to build a church, to feed 35 people, to invest in a charity, to help homeless people.
Yeah.
You know, generosity is his own reward.
Yeah.
So I think becoming rich is imperative. Imperative.
Yeah.
Not only for you, what we need is to take care of us and our family. Okay, that's what we need, and then we're going to pass it on.
Yeah.
But what about the 10%, the tithing thing that's in every Bible? So that's my belief system.
I got it. What is your daily affirmation that you go through in case somebody wants to make up their own?
Well,
do you have it memorized?
Oh, it's too long to do right now, but
okay.
I wake up, my first thing every single morning with attitude was not like this, hello, I feel good today, you know, this is going to be a great day. Mm-hmm. Oh crap, it's raining. Not that. Something great is going to happen to me today. Mm-hmm. And then I spend the rest of the day looking for it. It could be a penny on the street. Yep. It could be the cop that passed me and got you. You know, it could be a new patient that came in a case that I just love to help. Yep. It could be my kid just hit a home run, or my daughter was in a dance recital, whatever. Yeah. So I'm looking for something great. It's always. Before I go to sleep every night, I review the day, and every place I screwed up, I erase in my mind. I forgive myself, right? And so I go to sleep, and I wake up. So there are 3 in my book. Talking to yourself is not crazy. Anyone that wants it, my affirmation, I'll be happy to email it to you. Yeah. You know, Larry@ltmconsulting.net, and I'm not selling you anything. It's no cost. If you want to see my affirmations, I'll mail them to you.
Great.
Fair enough?
That's fair enough. Was there ever a day where, so you're looking for that thing that's happening for you?
Yes.
Right? Was there ever a day where you made it to the end of the day, you didn't find something?
No. When I am in an environment of slower thinkers, like families and cousins and aunts,
especially cousins.
I'm just, some are great, some are not. When I'm around a lower vibrating that are bitching and moaning and complaining, the president, the this, the that, the weather, the global warming, the negative part of it, I find myself withdrawing, going in another room. I don't want to be bathed in negativity. Right. So at first, because I was a big shot, I went in to be the teacher of my family. Oh, the worst. And I was booed off the stage. Get out of here. Who do you think you are? So I said, you know what? It's not my job to teach them. I can show them by example, and they can say whatever they want. So my protection is my number one, and it's not ego. My number one intent is to fix me all the time and make me better. from the nature of the beast to the nature of the gods, which is what Jim Parker used to tell me. Grow yourself, and then protect my family the same way. That's number one. Number two is to help humanity to serve and to live by the laws of the universe as best as I can. And I am not perfect. You know, I have some bad philosophies too in my lifetime. With prosperity, I have bought high and sold low too many times.
Right.
But I know better. We still fall back sometimes.
But you forgave yourself at night, so
you
you're good
forgive
to go.
yourself, you get up, you brush yourself off, you stand up one more time, then you knock down. And it's an effort. There is no meteoric rise to success. All the preparation of all the years, all of a sudden you're a star.
Yeah. Man, a lot of wisdom here. So
Thank you.
tell me about what you're doing now. So you're working, it's...
Well, I have a couple, I call them my top 10
Great.
private clients that I coach.
Yep.
You know, so we have 7 right now. And I don't do any advertising. They find their way to me.
Yep.
We charge a fee, and then we coach them personally, professionally, spiritually, financially, whatever area their weakness is, and they seem to grow and like it because I have very little turnover. And then I do my Chiro-Cabin. Chiro is chiropractors and their staff. Cabin, it's a cabinet informal. I'm wearing jeans now session. It's not a podium with spotlights and PowerPoints. It's communicating with 30 people. So if you have 6 people in your office, you won't be able to afford it. So we may get 3 or 4 offices only to get about 25 to 30 people. So I get to know each person, their Enneagram, meaning their personality type, how to communicate. By the way, you can't communicate with me. I'm a hyper guy. You can't be Mr. Rogers and communicate with me. I'd fall asleep.
Sure.
But if I gave you my A#1 Markson neurotic report of findings, and you're Mr. Rogers, I'd frizz your hair.
Right.
So we have to speak to people as they need to be spoken to. So that's start. Chiropractic philosophy, theory. It's a day and a half, no cell phone, no communication with the outside world, none of that. It's a day and a half of self-improvement, talking about the philosophy of it, how to do these things, the affirmations, visualization, the techniques, the procedures in every phase of the office until you become a team. So Major League Baseball players take batting practice. They have coaches. They're making $20 million a year and they're getting coached on how to be better at what they do all the time. So I always have a coach. I always do. So that's what we do. In Chiro-Cabin, all you have to do is call me, and if you want to, you can put offices together, and I'll come to you. That's the last phase. And then I'm around third base.
Well, Larry, man, you've been, from the time I started in practice, you've been a giant in the profession. You've done so much to give back, and I really appreciate you sharing all the value today.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. And to all of you, if I can do it, you can do it.
That's right. All right, we'll see you on the next episode.
Just because this episode is over doesn't mean you can't continue your path to $1 million practice. We've created Chiropractic's most full-service marketing agency at Leverage Media to help you reach $1 million a year fast and continue to grow. You can get a free strategy session with me absolutely free right now. To get started, go to getmemorenewpatients.com. Once again, go to getmemorenewpatients.com, and we'll see you tomorrow on the Path to $1 Million podcast.